what they wanted.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, no, thank you.
No way. No, I've met a few rodeo people before, and
I've heard they're crazy.
you
have to
I think I've met more clowns.
Oh, okay.
Really, they're just like, oh no, it's fine. I played high school football. It's fine. It's like, oh, I guess that's all you pretty much need, to get used to getting tackled. But their job is to get the bull away.
Right. Yeah, just distract the bull.
Just distract the bull. Yeah, but these bull riders aren't very big, and they fall, and then they get back up, and then it's like, you cracked a few ribs, and like, really? Because it looked like you got up just fine, but I don't know, you cracked a few ribs. So
yeah.
But yeah. That's the only wrestling match that I've actually seen in a ring, in an actual bull riding arena. The rest have been indies, and I love some indie wrestlers. I really do.
So I was at the Royal Rumble this year, and I was at WrestleMania also. I've been in the last except for 2020, I've been in the last 14 WrestleManias. Woo! That's the thing my buddy and I do. Like, we went to the first Houston, but not the first Houston one. I still kick myself I didn't go to the first Houston one. But we went to the second one. I get 25. And I was like, we were like, okay, this is awesome. We could go, Arizona's not terribly far. We could drive there, which 2/3 of that is going through Texas. But
yep.
I was like, okay, we'll do that. And then the next one was in Atlanta, and then it was like, all right, we're just going to everyone now. Like, we're not fans of going to New York City just because getting around New York City is a gigantic pain in the ass.
Been there, and yes.
Yeah. But I asked him again this year. I was like, so if it goes to New York again, we're not going? And he's like, no, we'll still go. We just got to map it out better. Because,
exactly. Yeah.
If you're in the wrong part of New York and everything else is in the other part of New York, it's not. Getting around is not too good.
I love New York City, but I couldn't live there.
I could never live there.
Yeah, I couldn't live there. Even if I lived in New York City and it was in New York City, I'd be like, oh, this is going to be tough.
Yeah.
I'm probably have to plan a way to get there.
Yeah, if I had like Taylor Swift money, I'd live there for a year and then
sure.
just deuce out again. But
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But when it was in Dallas, I went to the last one.
Yeah.
And Arlington. Let's be specific. Yeah, you're right.
Every time anybody was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to go to Dallas to go see it, I'm like, well, good luck, because it's not out there. It's in
the
Arlington.
Dallas Cowboys haven't played here since the 60s, so yeah.
Yeah.
In Dallas,
yeah.
So yeah. But I gave away a lot of Pelican's beer. A lot of beer.
I saw that, yeah. I was looking on your Instagram, and like, you made a lot of friends.
Well, we brought this.
You also had a belt, which looked really cool.
I gave it to some kid.
Did you? Of course, the kid needs it.
I gave it to some kid. For some odd reason, I have this fascination of making these belts with duct tape. Okay. There's actually one in the back. I feel like I have a talent for it. I really do.
You do, yeah.
And but I made this championship belt. I made one in college.
Okay.
I was the Iron Sheik one time, which people found very offensive.
Of course.
And I was like, I didn't mean it. And then one guy challenged me for the belt, and I'm like, I'm not going to wrestle. Okay, now we're wrestling. Okay, oh, get away. I'll go down like the Iron Sheik, Shout out to the Iron Sheik. Love the Iron Sheik. But yeah, I always had these belts. So I gave it to some kid at WrestleMania.
Good for you.
I was like, you kind of look like my nephew. And poor kid, he's probably going, look, Mommy, look what a stranger gave me. And they're like, what's what?
A brewery. No,
that's weird. But yeah, I had that belt. But yeah, people took photos with it. But I had several cases of beer.
Awesome.
And I was like, and my brother David, shout out to my brother David.
Yeah.
He's a rugby player.
Oh, wow.
He's a big dude, and he just loves talking to people.
That's awesome.
And so I'm like, Dave, we got to get rid of this beer. We drink it, we got to get rid of it.
Yeah.
And he's like, don't worry, I'll figure it out. And he met some English person that played rugby. Before we know it, we're in the back, they parked actually in the stadium. And then it's like, who wants free beer? And then boom.
They both had giant quads. They're like, you must play rugby. You must play rugby.
Yeah, where are you? But it's amazing, especially WrestleMania. It's like, where'd you come from? England.
Yes.
Wow, you flew all the way over
much.
here.
Yeah.
And where are you staying? Oh, I'm staying in Richardson. What? Even though that's not far from Dallas compared to where you're coming from, but holy cow, you came here all the way in this.
Yeah.
And I live in the town. So I'm like, here's a beer. Yeah. Here's our golden opportunity. Boom, it's our goals, And so I take a picture with the belt and take a picture with the beer. So that's what I put on Instagram.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I love so much about WrestleMania. It is a Super Bowl of wrestling, but if you're a wrestling fan, that's your central for, it's up to a week now, really, because let's say things start Wednesday night, Thursday night, and then, Raw ends Monday night, which this year was not good. Unfortunately, I was there live, but it's fine. But normally, those fans are raucous because there's still the international fans there. And those fans are their chants and their sing-songiness is so amazing.
Yep.
I love it. But
Yeah.
that whole time is so much fun if you're a wrestling fan because you could literally wake up, get breakfast, do whatever. First matches start around 11 a.m. Then they go all the way till 2 or 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then go to bed if you want, or stay up and just party with everybody, depending on where you're at, and then start all over again the next day.
One of my brother's teammates had a hotel in Arlington, near the stadium.
Yeah.
And I went on the elevator. It was this big old jack dude, and I'm like, dude, are you a wrestler? And he goes, yeah. I'm like, where? And it was like somewhere in Cleveland.
Right.
And I'm like, holy cow! You got an Instagram? I'm following you, dude, because you're a big dude.
Yeah.
You know. But
Do you remember who it was?
no.
Okay.
But if I'm correct, he was trying to get booked somewhere in Dallas, Arlington,
Right.
for the WrestleMania weekend because
Oh,
all
yeah.
the indies were like,
Well,
okay.
that one was everywhere. So
Yeah.
it was Dallas, Fort Worth, Arlington. It was
And I wish I would have just went to all of them because I was like, that'd be amazing.
We went to, actually the first time they were here, I love my cousin. Shout out to Brett. I don't think she's listening, but shout out anyway. She was getting married that weekend.
Okay.
And I asked her before, I was like, listen, it's not my wedding. You can do whatever you want. Maybe don't get married that weekend. And sure enough, she gets married that weekend.
I mean, simple request.
It's-
Just don't
it's
get
fine.
married that
Yeah,
weekend.
let's don't get married that weekend. It's fine. You
What are we
do
feeling, guys?
Surprise me.
Okay.
Great Scott.
Great Scott, the Duke. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So the first time WrestleMania was here, she was married, so we did a rehearsal thing that Friday. Saturday was the wedding. So I saw the ceremony, booked it after that, went to Hall of Fame, got there still in a suit, because, well, I always wore a suit to Hall of Fame anyway, because I'm respectful that way.
Heck yeah, it's all right.
I don't go to Hall of Fame anymore, but they were fun.
A lot of people get inducted, so
It ballooned up to like 10, and then they realized, oh shit, this is way too many.
Yeah.
People aren't going to be here all night, and we're now putting it after SmackDown, so
Yep.
it's not going to work out.
I just wanted Bob Backlund to get in, and that was it. So
Yeah.
I was like, it's not a Hall of Fame without Bob Backlund. And now, I don't want to say they induct everybody, because I'm just so old school. It's like, oh, that was before my time. They're legends. But the people that actually watched, I'm like, they weren't that great. I don't know. I'm just kind of cold that way. I mean, not the edges or anything like that.
Of course, yeah.
No. But just like, wait a minute, they don't deserve. But I'm like, actually, no, they were hot at the
Right,
time.
yeah,
And they were there
yeah.
for a while. So yeah, they should be in the Hall of Fame.
But again, there are so many people that are like not in that we're like, why are these people not in?
Let's see, Bruno's in there.
Bruno's in there, yeah, because
That
if
took
it
a
wasn't
while.
for Triple H, he
took a
probably
while.
would not have.
I know Stan the Man Stasiak.
He actually lives out here in the Dallas area.
What?
He's a chiropractor.
Oh, with his son. Yeah. Sean Stasiak.
Sorry, yeah, Sean.
Yeah. If I went to that, no. I've never been to a chiropractor, but if I did, and then suddenly he goes, if he's doing his thing, and I go, wait, is your last name Stasiak? Okay, I don't want you to know because you will literally break my bones.
Yeah.
Just in your DNA.
Yeah, you can't just Polish hammer me.
Yeah. I don't want that. So.
So your nickname is Shirts. Where did this come from?
It's not a nickname that has stuck, but it does.
Okay.
I do get called it from time to time.
Gotcha.
I went from working, well, it used to be an office job. Then it was working from home during COVID.
Right.
To working here, and I didn't have any actual brewery work clothes.
Right.
So my father-in-law, shout out to my father-in-law in Chickasha, Oklahoma. He's like, oh, I got clothes for you. Oh, because he's a contractor. He's carpentry.
Oh, okay.
So he has every random Oklahoma T-shirt you could find, and not University of Oklahoma. I'm talking about Oklahoma. I'm talking about the Eagle and the Native American. I mean everything. I was like, if you got a bag, that'd be perfect. This would be work shirts because they're gonna be soaked in beer and water and chemical and junk.
right.
So he gave me all these shirts. So every time I come in here, there's always a different shirt, and everyone has a nickname.
Okay, makes sense.
The first person that was hired here, his nickname was Burn Leg because he almost burned himself with, it's called hot liquor, just hot water.
Right.
So Burn Leg, boom. And so you need a nickname, and they're like, well, Jacob always wears different shirts, so Shirts it is.
Your Shirts.
It didn't really stick, but people do know me as Shirts.
What is your nickname now?
It's just Jacob.
Oh, okay.
It's just Jacob.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah. It really is almost the conversation of the shirt itself because I have my wrestling shirts.
Yes.
I have my Petacola shirts, which I have tons of them.
Right.
And I'm also a big Canadian football fan.
Oh, okay. I
So-
saw that you were a CFL fan. I was like,
a huge Canadian
how?
football fan. How? Well,
not how, but like,
Oh.
I guess how did it come into your world that is what attracted you?
A buddy of mine, shout out to my buddy Steven, was an Air Force brat. So he kind of moved around everywhere. He talked about moving. He moved to Canada.
Yeah.
And he was always saying like, oh yeah, it's kind of 50-50 on people watch Canadian football and American football,
Right.
and a kind of mixture of both. And Tito Santana, Hall of Famer, played for the BC Lions.
Oh.
And
The Rock also played up there.
he was on the practice squad for Calgary.
Oh, he's only on the practice squad.
He likes to say that,
That
he
story
played
was
some games.
definitely-
He likes to
yeah,
really stress
okay.
it. I'm not anti-rock.
No, I mean,
But-
I don't know anybody that is.
But even the coach was like, I don't remember.
Okay,
I
wow.
don't remember. But yeah, Tito Santana played for the BC Lions for 2 years, and but my buddy Steven was like, because I was always saying like, we have all this, we watch NFL playoffs, Super Bowl, and the Super Bowl's over and there's nothing.
Yep.
And then my buddy said, well, unless you watch Canadian football, and he talked about his story of when he moved to Canada. And so I was like, I wonder if I get the channel. And I got the channel, and that was 2010, and I've watched it ever since.
Wow.
So when I was dating my beautiful wife, Casey, shout out to my wife, Casey, I didn't get the channel.
Okay.
And I was like, Casey, it's in November. I'm like, I want to see, you do get this channel. Instead of going to the, to the bar, can we watch the Grey Cup? He's like, what's the Grey Cup? And we watched, it's basically the Canadian Super Bowl.
Yeah, oh, okay.
And ever since then, we've watched the Grey Cup.
My brother, shout out to my brother, lives in Canada. And so I think one time, it was during his wedding. We drove by one of the stadiums and I think they were playing. And I was like, what the hell is that? He's like, oh, that's where the CFL plays. I was like, dope.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's on a smaller scale, different rules.
Yeah.
But I always thought, because I actually went to Canada to see a Canadian football game.
wow.
Yeah. It was Hamilton, Ontario, but they're playing BC.
But that was like going to Graceland for you.
In a sense, because Hamilton, Ontario is kind of like going into, I would say, Richardson. You're just like, wait, is there a stadium somewhere? Oh, there it is. It's just there. It's not one of the bigger cities in Canada.
Yeah.
But they
how
just
far
have-
out of where?
It's in Buffalo. I flew into Buffalo,
Yeah.
and then I think about 50 miles in.
Oh, that's not bad at all. Okay.
Yeah. Kilometers, so it's very confusing.
Yeah, we did that. We went to go visit him. I went to a Buffalo Sabres game
There you go.
because they are one of my favorite hockey teams.
Okay.
Because of Sega Genesis.
Oh
so,
my gosh, yeah.
Which is has no rhyme or reason whatsoever, but Buffalo ended up being one of my favorite teams.
Yeah, and even the city of Buffalo, like it's just
Nothing
Buffalo.
else. Yeah,
it's, just
it's
Buffalo.
them and the Bills.
Exactly.
And I saw they're gonna build a new Bills stadium.
Yes.
But it's still no fucking top on it.
Yeah.
I was like, what's wrong with you? I understand
cold.
that you guys want to own the fact that you are
Yeah.
in the coldest part of, but other people maybe want to come and check your place out. So
Exactly.
Minnesota learned. So why
Right.
wouldn't you? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just me. Whatever.
Yeah.
It looks beautiful.
Oh, yeah. I think Hamilton got a new stadium. But Hamilton, Ontario, is basically just put a stadium in the middle of a neighborhood. It's kind of like almost like Green Bay, Wisconsin. They just put a stadium
Wow.
there. And I had a ball. So was it Graceland? In a sense, yes.
Yes.
Because I was like, I told myself when I graduate college, this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do it. And I did it. And it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Canada's just a beautiful country.
It's beautiful, yeah.
Crazy clean too.
Yes.
I know
And the dollar was up.
Okay,
So
good.
they loved American currency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's always been up since any time we went up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes it'll get a little down, but yeah. So I've been watching Canadian football ever since. And,
Now, speaking of craft beers, I always have to ask, what was your gateway craft beer?
depending on what your definition of craft beer is.
Okay.
Growing up in Texas, we have our Lone Star, which is really not craft beer.
It's not.
My brother in college, Fat Tire was
Fat
a
Tire,
big
yeah.
one. Throw a Guinness in there. Trying to think of when I moved to Dallas. Honestly, it had to be raw. It really has to be raw.
Okay. Yeah.
I volunteered there, I think my first week in Denton. I literally swept the floors, and they gave me a case of beer.
That's awesome.
So yeah, but with the exception of Roar, it was the Petticoat's Velvet Hammer.
Yeah.
This was the first
Yeah.
tour that I actually went to, and I was like, 3 beers, that's not a lot. 3 beers is enough.
For Velvet Hammers?
Velvet
Yeah.
Hammer,
Yeah.
yeah, it's totally fine.
I love it when I go out with people now and they don't normally drink like craft beers. They'll stick to the normal, Coors Light, Miller Lite, whatever.
Yeah.
And then they'll go to like have a Velvet Hammer or something, and I'm like, I just kind of sit back.